Yeah, hi Jagdish, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Srika.
Jagdish, go through your topic.
Yeah, Srika. So here it is the PPT. So today's my topic is attribute dimension. So let me go to explain about attribute dimension on the next slide. So in this topic, we'll able to show us the usage of attribute dimension in the following artifacts, like in data forms, like in runtime prompts, like in business rules, in SmartUO. So let me go to the creation of attribute dimension. So what is the attribute in general? Can you give me an example of an attribute in Amazon app? So basically, attributes are used to make a group of members together, and also you can categorize the members. So for example, if you take in an Amazon app, so there will be some categories like home appliances, electronics, mobiles, like that. You can also categorize like size, product, color. Likewise, you can categorize it by using the attribute dimensions in the Amazon app. So the next question is that can you explain the difference between the standard dimension and attribute dimension? So standard dimension is the nothing but if you create an application, the some of the dimensions will created. There are the standard dimension which is used for business rules. So the attribute dimension is which is under created under the standard dimension. So which is used for reporting purposes. So in which case you prefer the attribute dimension over the standard dimensions? So basically attribute dimensions created under the sparse dimension only. So let me, if you by using attribute dimension describe the categories characteristics of data such as product size, color throughout the attributes. So you can group and analyzing member dimensions. So in this case, so you prefer attribute dimension over the standard dimensions. So can you assign the attribute dimension to a dense or sparse dimension? Basically, attribute dimension related to sparse dimensions. So you can assign the attribute dimension to sparse dimensions. So you can't create the attribute dimension under the dense dimension. So can you show me how to create the attribute dimension? So let me create the attribute dimension in the application. So let me go to the application. So if you want to create the attribute dimension, first you have to go to the dimensions tab. So let me go to the navigator icon. So under the create and manage menu, there is a dimensions tab. Click on dimensions tab. So I'm going to create the attribute dimension under the entity. So let me select the entity dimension. Click on entity. So I'm going to create the attribute dimension. So if you want to create the attribute dimension, click on custom attribute dimension icon. So click on custom attribute dimension, or else you can another way you can create custom attribute. Click on actions. So click on custom attributes. So here you can some of the custom attribute dimensions. So if you want to create new one, click on plus icon. So here you can create new attribute dimensions. So create new attribute dimension. If you want to create, I'm going to create region. Click on save. So create this. If you want to create child for this region, so click on region one. Click on add child. Give the name. I'm going to give the name as USA. Likewise, you can create. So if you want to create, let me select region. I am already created this one. So here it is the childs. If you want to create new one, click on add child. Click on region first. After that, click on add child. So click on give the name as anything if you want. I'm going to give in Canada. Click on save. After that, click close. So let me go to the PPT presentation. So can you show me the how to assign the attribute dimensions to a standard dimensions? So if you want to assign, let me go to the application. How to assign the attribute dimension standard dimension in the application. So let me expand entity dimension. Let me expand total geography. Expand segments. So I'm going to assign the legal entities. So if you want to enter, click on legal entity one. Select edit icon. So in this, there are member properties, attribute values, UDA, member formula. Click on attribute values. So if you want to assign, click on region. So click on USA, click on add. So the region USA will be added under the legal entity one. Likewise, you can assign attribute to entity dimension members. So the attribute dimension was assigned to entity. So let me go to the next entity. So click on edit, click on attribute values. So click on region, click on USA. So I'm going to add, click save. So I'm going to go to the legal entity 3, click on edit, click on attribute values, click on region, click on USA, click on add, click save. So I am added the 3 entities for the attribute values. Let me go to the PPT presentation. So let me go to the next slide. So usage of attribute dimensions in the data forms. Can you show me attribute dimensions in the data form in the page drop down and show me how the standard dimension members are filtered? Use any of the existing attribute dimension. If not available, create one below hierarchy, region, APUSC, Europe, USA, Middle East, Africa. So this is the region member. So I'm going to explain in the form. Let me go to the application, open the data card, go to the navigator icon, click on data card. Let me open any existing form. So I'm going to open data entry form. The form will be opened. So let me open the layout for this form. Click on layout. So go to the presentation. So can you show me how to use the attribute dimension in the data form in the page drop down and show me the how the standard dimension members are filtered. So let me go to the application. So here it is the page theme. Here it is the region, what you created in the attributes. So if you want to, likewise, you can see in the attribute dimensions. So let me go to the PPT presentation. So tag region attribute dimension standard dimension entity randomly assign the members of the region entity members. Okay, if the missing and 0 setting is enabled, show me how the standard members are filtered for the attribute members. So can you move attribute dimensions to the POV and explain the outcome of it? So let me go to the application. So let me move on to the POV. So point of view. So let me move to the attribute dimension to the point of view. So let me move on. So after that, click on save. The form has been saved. Let me go to the data entry form. So the region will be available in this point of view. So likewise, you can see in the data form. Let me go to the PPT presentation. Can you move the attribute dimensions to the rows and explain the outcome of it? So let me go to the application. So let me go to the edit the data entry form. So click on layout section. So what is that? Rows and the move the attribute dimension to the rows. Let me go to the application. So you should move to the rows. So click on region, click on region. Let me go to the rows. I am going to add in the rows. So after that, click on save. Form has been saved. So if you want to select any one of the region, let me go to edit the form. So I'm going to add USA for this selection. I'm going to delete the region, click OK, click save. Form has been saved. Let me go to the data entry form. So in the rows section, I'm selecting USA for the first row. So that's why the region will be selected as the USA. Likewise, you can see in the form. Let me go to the PPT presentation. So can you move the attribute dimensions to the columns and explain the outcome of it? So let me move on to the columns in the region attribute. Let me go to the edit the form. Click on layout section. So let me move on to region to columns. So I'm selecting the USA. After that, click on save. That the form has been saved. Click OK. Click on data entry form. So the USA attributes will be in the column. Likewise, you can see in the data form. Let me go to the PPT presentation. Let me go to the next slide. So usage of the attribute dimension in the runtime prompt. So can you assign the attribute dimension or attribute dimension members in the runtime prompt? Yes, you can assign. If yes, can you show me how to assign the attribute dimension or attribute dimension member in the RTP? So can you show me only few attribute dimension limited in the RTP? So only show APAC and Europe form about tip in slide 4. So let me go to the application. So if you want to runtime, open the runtime, click on navigator. Under the create and manage menu, click on rules card. So click on actions menu, click on variable designer, expand the EPM cloud, expand the FCCS, expand the console, click on console. So here you can create the new variable, click on new. I'm going to create RTP underscore attribute, select type as member. After that, select the region attribute which you created under the attribute value under the entity. So I'm going to select the region. After that, enable the checkbox RTP runtime prompt. After enabling, the limit column will be available for to enter the values. So let me select the member for this. I'm going to select member. In the member selector. So expand the region. So I'm going to select in the PPT presentation. So select the APAC and Europe. So I'm going to select APAC and Europe. So it will be limited that values. Click OK. So in the default value, if you want to select member or you can select function, I'm going to select function for this. So click on attribute. After that, select the member. So I'm going to select the member as USA in the region. So select the dimension. So I'm going to select the attribute dimension, that is region. After that, expand this. Click on USA. Click OK. After that, click in the selection function. Click OK. The default value also selected. Give the text value. I'm going to give the text as select the entity attribute value. After that, click on save. So the variable saved successfully. Click OK. So let me go to the PPT presentation. Let me go to the next slide. So can you show me how many functions are available to use the attributes in the business rule? Use the technical reference refer this document. So can you show me at least 2 functions of the attribute in the business rule expectations? Choose randomly any attribute dimension member. Choose any one random combination of the standard dimension. Create input sheet in SmartView. So use any random members as input. Create an output sheet in SmartView. So create business rule with the attribute functions. Execute the business rule. Show me the result of the output sheet created. So let me go to create this slide in the application. Go to the rules section. Click on Smart System View. Expand the IBM Cloud. Expand the FCCS. So expand the console rule. Expand the rules. So in the rules, I'm going to create a new rule. Click on actions. Click on new object. So select application type is EPM Cloud. Application is the FCCS. Cube is the console. So object type is the rule. Create custom attribute. After that, click OK. The custom attribute will be created. Click OK to edit the form, editing for this custom attribute. The custom attribute will be opened. So I'm going to give the RTP commands. Start with fix command and end with end fix. So I'm going to give the RTP values, so which you created previously. So I'm give the two attributes randomly. So I'm taking the two. The first one is RTP80. Copy this one. And just click, give the braces. Give the another RTP. So that one is the RTP underscore ATR. After that, click on save. So the variables will be created under this RTP80 and RTP80R. So after that, click on validate. You can validate from the actions menu. So click on validate. Click on validate button. So the rule was validated with no errors. So you can deploy this rule to application. So click on deploy button. So the deployment was successful. So let me check in the business rule in the application. So close the calculation manager. So let me check in the application. Click on home page. Here you can create under the click on routes card. So here you can observe the custom attribute. Click on launch. Here you can observe the select entity attribute value. So which you can create under the variables name. You can select APACR Europe. So you can limited these two values, what you said in the previous slide. So in this slide, you can only show APAC and Europe. So likewise, you can show only APAC and Europe values. So you can select and click launch to launch the business rule. Click on cancel to cancel this business rule. Let me go to the PPT presentation. So can you show me how to insert the attribute in the smart view? So can you show me a report which the attribute dimension? So expectations, choose any two random combinations, standard dimension combination for each of the attributes dimension member associated with and enter the random numbers in the combination. Should be explain how choose input members are reported by the each of the attributes dimension member. API is an example, and also attribute dimension region as an example. So let me go to first. You have to click on smart view. So you have to log in the smart view. So let me open the new blank sheet. So after that, click on smart view. So you should log in with credentials. So successfully log into the smart view. So let me expand FCCS application in the library folder. Click on data entry folder, and before that you can disable the option for suppress missing blocks. So already disabled. Click OK. So let me open a ad hoc analysis. the pointer will be appear here. So likewise, so if you want to choose in the application, let me open first application and delete the in the region form. Go to the data form. Click on edit. Click on layout. So I'm going to remove the attribute dimension in the columns. So I'm going to remove the attribute dimension in the columns. Let me go to attribute dimension. After that, click on save. So form has been saved. Let me go to the smart view. So click on refresh. Yes. Now, if you want to choose that region in this form, let me go to enter the USA. After that, click on refresh. So you can see the attribute dimension value. Likewise, you can choose Europe also. Click on refresh. The Europe value also seen in the smart view. Let me go to the attribute dimension PPT presentation. So in this topic, we have to conclude it towards the usage of attribute dimension in the data forms, runtime prompt, and business rule in the smart view. So thank you, Srikanth. That's from all my side. Yeah, thank you, Srikanth.
Thank you, Jagdish.
Yeah, thank you.